Hey, what's up guys? It's Brian. Just doing an update video on this bank that I did. We just put up some parking blocks the other day and I'm gonna get them all secured in there and fix some of these cracks. So I'm just gonna walk you through what I'm doing here and hopefully it helps you guys out. As you can see, there's a bit of space in between the parking block and the cement. So I'm gonna first fill in that with some construction adhesive, and after that I'm gonna apply some more cement all to the edge right here to kind of make it flush, and fill in this gap right here with some concrete as well. Here I'm adding in some construction adhesive to the bottom of the parking block so that it will stay in place. I had to do a little bit of adjustments for the parking block just to make sure it's sitting correctly on the top of the bank because it was not level up there. So just making sure it's all in place or in the right place that I want it to be, and line it up with the other parking block. I made sure to adjust the parking blocks just right so that once they are conjoined with the concrete in between the two, that they would be like one parking block. As you can see, I'm adjusting the height and level of the parking block in order to make sure that it's a flat surface up on top, and then they both align correctly. Now I'm mixing up cement all. It's basically a mixture of gravel, water, and sand. The gravel actually helps to kind of make it a little bit more solid and gives it a lot more concrete once you have it all together. This is pretty much the same technique that I was using when I was making the bank for my previous video. Now I'm filling in all of the cracks and places where I want to transition the bank into the curb. I'm testing out some new trowels that I recently purchased for this job. I'm really happy with the way that it came out. It smooths out a bit better than what I was using, and it's always good to have multiple tools to work with concrete. Making sure that all of the concrete goes into all the cracks and fills everything, giving a good bond between the two parking blocks and the transition up to them. I'm going to add some water here just to smooth it out a little better. It always helps to go over it a couple times with water and the trowel and just get it good, because it'll make a world of difference in the end. At this point, it's probably good to go, but I'm just going over it again and again just to try to smooth it out the best it's going to possibly be. But honestly, it's just as good as, you can make it. You just keep going over it, and depends on how dedicated you are. It doesn't really matter though. You put the concrete on there and you do the best that you can do, and you work with what you got. You can really skate it, with a lot less effort than I'm doing here, but I think it's nice to have a nice finished product here. Finally, I'm just going to sweep up all the loose rocks that might have come from the concrete and make sure that they don't stick to the surface. As you can see, we have this nice crack at the bottom, and that needs to be filled with some bondo. If I found beforehand and when I poured the concrete, it probably was this big crack and developed like that, but I think it just needs some bondo, so that's what I'm going to do.
Now I'm putting down some duct tape to just make sure that once I put the bondo down that it doesn't look messy and it looks kind of like a neat spot. I don't know if this is entirely necessary considering it's a DIY spot that doesn't have to look perfect, but I just wanted it to look good, so I put down the tape first before I start pouring the bondo. As you can see, I'm using a foam pad to rest my knees on when I'm doing this. It's just more comfortable with that. I suggest using one of these when you're working on the ground. I fall enough on my skateboard. It's good to sweep any rocks out of the way as well. Once you lay the bondo, it's going to be a lot better if you have a clear area. Now I'm mixing my bondo together. What I'm going to add to this is fiberglass resin. It's by Bondo. Obviously, last time I used it, it hardened around the edge, so I used a wrench to get that cap off. I'm going to mix this together, and it's going to be a lot smoother with the resin. It just basically makes it liquid-like, so you're able to apply it, and it's a smoother texture once you have it down. And that stuff works pretty well. I think a lot better with the fiberglass resin. So I saw it on a video and found it helpful. Here I'm gonna smooth out the surface the best I can with the bondo, getting it in the crack. And I'm going to mix up some more of this bondo. So I'm putting about 10% of the can resin. So just pour a little bit in the can and it will free up the bondo a lot better and you'll be able to apply it easily. It doesn't harden as fast, even with the hardener, but it's really nice because you're not having to rush the job as much and it really smoothens out the bondo. So I really highly suggest getting a can of the Bondo brand fiberglass resin. It's great stuff.
Now I'm going to coat the curb with this concrete sealer. This one is water-based, which is great, so you can wash out your brushes. I've tried other kinds of concrete sealers, but they don't quite work as well as water-based. You're going to have to replace brushes.
I'm just applying a light coat over all the surfaces I intend to grind on at this spot. You can go over a second time if you want to, but this stuff works really well. It's similar to a lacquer spray that you might apply to a ledge to get it to grind. But this stuff works amazing, and when you get a gallon of it, it's going to last you a while. Oops, I had to go back and fill in a crack that I missed at the bottom of a bank. This was a small one though, just mix it up real quick, and I had enough bondo to finish the job, thankfully. At this point, I've applied all the bondo and concrete I am going to do at this time. So here's what she looks like, and just wait for her to dry and it will be good to go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and got a couple tips for your DIYs. All right, have a good one.